Imagine a leader who claimed to be the savior of his nation, only to become one of the most controversial figures in its history. A man who, while projecting power and charisma, secretly built a personal empire of palaces, cars, jewelry, and billions of dollars hidden overseas. This is the story of Ferdinand Marcos, the 10th president of the Philippines, who ruled for over 2 decades under martial law, leaving behind a legacy of corruption, extravagance, and political turmoil. But who exactly was Ferdinand Marcos? How did he rise from a provincial upbringing to become the absolute ruler of his country? And what happened to the immense wealth he accumulated before his death in 1989? Stay with us, because this story combines power, greed, and tragedy like no other. At the time of his death in 1989, Ferdinand Marcos's official salary as president was modest, but his hidden net worth was estimated between $5 billion and $10 billion. Investigations by the Philippine government and international watchdogs revealed that Marcos and his wife Imelda diverted billions of dollars from state coffers into Swiss bank accounts, shell companies, and overseas properties. Their wealth was tied directly to skimming money from government contracts, diverting foreign loans into private accounts, using martial law to suppress investigations, exploiting the Philippines' natural resources. To this day, the Philippines continues its legal battle to recover these stolen assets. Some jewelry collections and properties have been seized, but a large portion of the Marcos fortune remains hidden. Ferdinand Edralin Marcos was born on September 11, 1917, in Sarat, Ilocos Norte, to a political family of modest means. His father, Mariano Marcos, was a lawyer and politician. Though not born into extreme wealth, Ferdinand was ambitious from an early age. He was a brilliant student, excelling in law. In 1939, he famously topped the Philippine bar exam, though rumors later surfaced about irregularities. His early life was marked by a mixture of intellect, charisma, and an unshakable belief that he was destined for greatness. Marcos's rise to power was strategic and relentless. World War II. He claimed to be a decorated guerrilla fighter against the Japanese, though many of these stories were later proven exaggerated or false. 1949. Elected to the House of Representatives, launching his political career. 1965. Won the presidency, defeating incumbent Diosdado Macapagal. His first term was marked by infrastructure development and economic growth. But the turning point came in 1972, when Marcos declared martial law. Under the guise of fighting communism, he suspended the Constitution, dissolved Congress, and ruled by decree. This gave him absolute power, which he used to enrich himself and his family while silencing opposition. By the late 1970s, Marcos was no longer just a president. He was a dictator, supported by military loyalty and his wife Imelda's extravagant diplomacy. The scandals under Marcos are legendary. Martial law abuses. Tens of thousands of political opponents, journalists, and activists were imprisoned, tortured, or killed. Crony capitalism. Close allies of Marcos were awarded monopolies, draining the economy. Imelda's infamous spending, from $1,000 shopping sprees in New York to her collection of 3,000 pairs of shoes, Imelda became a global symbol of excess, stolen wealth, billions siphoned off, hidden in Swiss accounts and offshore companies. The downfall came in 1986, after the assassination of opposition leader Benigno Ninoy Aquino Jr., and the rise of the People Power Revolution. Facing mass protests and pressure from the United States, Marcos fled the Philippines with his family, taking with them crates of cash, jewelry, and priceless art. The Marcos family's residences before and during his rule revealed their immense wealth and taste for luxury. Malacañang Palace, Manila, the official presidential residence, transformed into a palace of grandeur during Marcos's reign. Lavish parties, imported furnishings, and European-style decorations symbolized their rule. Batak Mansion, Ilocos Norte, their ancestral home, later converted into a museum, showcasing the Marcos family's local roots and political dynasty. Leyte Rest House, a seaside property used for vacations, decorated with extravagant furniture. Hickam Air Force Base, Hawaii. After exile, Marcos and his family lived in a luxurious compound provided by the U.S. government. Each residence was not merely a home, but a statement of dominance designed to awe, intimidate, and glorify their rule. Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos were collectors of luxury vehicles and transportation. While exact numbers vary, several of their possessions have been documented. Mercedes-Benz 600 Pullman, a limousine favored by dictators worldwide, symbolizing prestige and power. Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, imported from the UK, used for state occasions. Lincoln Continental Mark IV, a symbol of American luxury in the 1970s. Cadillac Fleetwood, custom-made for official parades. Ferrari 365 GT4, rare Italian sports car in their collection. Porsche 911, a high-performance vehicle Imelda reportedly favored. Chevrolet Impala convertible, used during public appearances. Lamborghini Espada, one of the exotic sports cars acquired during their peak years. Bentley S3, another European classic car reflecting their taste for aristocratic luxury. Jeep Wagoneer, customized for Philippine terrains. Beyond cars, the Marcoses also enjoyed yachts and planes. The family had access to the Philippine presidential yacht, BRP Ang Pangulo, equipped with luxury suites. They also frequently chartered private jets, transporting not only themselves, but crates of cash and jewelry during their 1986 exile. Despite their excesses, the Marcos family attempted to project an image of generosity. Marcos launched massive infrastructure projects, roads, bridges, hospitals, and cultural centers that were marketed as gifts to the Filipino people. Imelda spearheaded cultural diplomacy, building the cultural center of the Philippines and promoting arts and music. But critics argue this philanthropy was merely a facade, masking the billions they looted from the nation. Even today, loyalists credit Marcos with building infrastructure, while detractors see it as projects funded by crippling debt. After Ferdinand Marcos's downfall in 1986, the newly established Philippine government under President Corazon Aquino created the Presidential Commission on Good Government, PCGG. Its mission was clear: to track down, seize, and return the billions stolen by Marcos and his family. Over the decades, the PCGG managed to recover a significant portion of these assets. By 2023, around $3.6 billion worth of cash, jewelry, and property had been returned to the Philippine Treasury. These included Imelda Marcos's infamous jewelry collections, luxury real estate in Manila, and several overseas bank accounts traced to Swiss deposits. But despite these victories, much of the Marcos fortune remains unaccounted for. Estimates suggest that $2 to $5 billion is still hidden, possibly spread across shell corporations, anonymous trusts, and private collections worldwide. Legal battles continue in Switzerland, the United States, and even Hong Kong, as the Philippine government seeks to recover what many consider stolen from the people. What makes this more controversial is that, even after partial recoveries, the Marcos family successfully returned to power. Bongbong Marcos, Ferdinand's son, became president of the Philippines in 2022, reigniting debates about justice and accountability. To many Filipinos, the billions that remain unrecovered symbolize not only corruption, but also the unfinished struggle for transparency and truth. Ferdinand Marcos married Imelda Romualdez in 1954, creating one of the most infamous power couples in modern history. Together, they had 3 children: Amy, Bongbong, later President of the Philippines himself, and Irene. Marcos was known for his charm, eloquence, and calculated demeanor. He loved luxury, women, and power. Reports suggest numerous affairs during his presidency, adding to the scandals. In terms of hobbies, Marcos enjoyed shooting, chess, and reading about history and military strategy. Yet, above all, his greatest obsession was power, the ability to control narratives, people, and wealth. Ferdinand Marcos's life is a cautionary tale. From humble beginnings, He rose to become a powerful leader, only to let ambition and greed consume him. He left behind billions in hidden wealth, palaces filled with luxury, and a country scarred by debt and dictatorship. To this day, Marcos remains a polarizing figure, admired by some as a builder, despised by others as a thief. His story asks us to confront a timeless question: what happens when power is unchecked, and when leaders put personal wealth above their people? So, what do you think? Was Marcos a visionary leader undone by greed? Or was he always destined to become a symbol of corruption and extravagance? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this story eye-opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the secret fortunes of history's most powerful leaders.